What's up, y'all? Kyle Hamilton here. I want to give a quick shout out to Lucas, Connor, and Ryan in the Week Zero podcast.
Jackson rolling out, 3rd and 7 after the penalty, and it's a completion to Kuma. He's still running. Kuma breaks free against a tired defense as the Hokies deliver the dagger here in Tallahassee. Empty look for Richardson. Oh, that is danger! Oh my! Keidron Smith cuts inside, and he's gonna pick six it in the swamp. Cat scratch fever Smith.
DJ is picked off, intercepted again by Benjamin Morrison. Here goes Morrison down the sideline. Can he go? Yes, he can. Touchdown, pick six, Benjamin Morrison.
Nix drops back underneath. Touchdown, Ducks. Wow. Chase Taylor.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? What? I straight up, I literally heard the thing start playing again. So I thought,
just keep going. We're good. Go.
Welcome to the Week Zero podcast, where yet again we can never have a good opening. Yet again,
You did it to yourself this time, Connor. You were good. You were unmuted and everything.
Yeah, I was ready for it. I was ready for it this time, but I still wasn't ready
You know
for
what,
it.
Connor? We lost 3 viewers because of you.
Only you.
4 now, because we're down to 3 now all of a sudden.
Okay. Let's get to
But
it.
this is the Week So podcast. Welcome back. I'm your host, Connor. At least Wells might be out, Doherty. I swear to God, if he starts, I'll be so pissed. To my left is Ryan. Texas might be slightly maybe back travel. Below me is Phil, triple 3-man, right? 3-man?
Triple M.
3-man,
Triple M.
right? 3 times M, all those things.
And of
upset.
course, we got JMB Michael 94.
That's my Twitter handle, X handle, whatever it's called
His
now.
Twitter handle coming to you live from his mother's basement with all of his food,
I don't live at home.
with all of his survivalist food rations. hidden
Everyone
away
knows
in
I'm sleeping in the
mountains of
store.
Kentucky, as he
Everyone
tries
knows.
to fight to live whenever the nuclear apocalypse hits.
Everyone knows I live
Oh
in the
my God.
storeroom at Barstool Sports.
Yes, no.
Marcia.
Yeah, no, but you escape sometimes, and you go to a Buc-ee's where you get all your food. That's where you got the hat. That's where you got the hat last time.
Oh,
man. Okay.
All right.
So this show will be different because we went way out of order than what we've established because we did our pick'ems last Tuesday. Excuse me, it was past Tuesday, and so we're just gonna be doing our normal Tuesday show where we kind of do more our stunners and bummers. I feel like we shouldn't have done all the recap stuff. Talking about all the text.
Well, we have more recap stuff this week, so
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Today, got it.
I put some banners in there to talk about. So, I guess we'll
So-
start things off. First things first. Is Miami back? Last Tuesday we talked about the question of whether or not Texas is back. Is Miami the U? Or are they back after their blowout win against Texas A&M? Josh?
I'd
Are
have
we
to
lowering?
see.
Hold on. Are we lowering the standard for blowout now?
Well, that game was not as close as the final score. I mean, Texas
I
A&M
don't know.
scored a late
I don't know if
touchdown.
you can. Okay, so I don't know if you can be back if your fan attendance is like less than
When-
40%.
I was gonna say when the fan attendance equal to the amount of yards both teams have had combined.
Guys, so if you bought a ticket to the Miami Texas A&M game,
Let
they
us know.
gave you a ticket for the Miami Georgia Tech game. It was buy one get one
Wow.
at this game,
was
and
buy one, get
nobody
one.
still stood up. Like, can you be back if your fans aren't into it? Like, it's not going to be the U again, is it? Like, are they going to be better than we thought? Yes. Are they going to compete for the ACC? Probably not. So no, they're not bad.
Damn it.
Phil, how do you feel, man? Do you think the U is back?
I don't think they're back either. I would say no to are they back? I mean, let's be real. They beat Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher has not been the same since he won the last BCS title. That was the last BCS they won, right? Florida State. He hasn't been the same coach since then. He has done nothing but underachieve since that moment. So no, they beat a team that, maybe nobody was expecting Miami to beat them that week, but a team that nobody was shocked Miami beat either.
Yeah, part of me is also because I thought Texas A&M had no business being ranked at all this year anyway. After going 5-7 and losing at home to App State last year, and on top of that, you lose 30+ players from that roster. One of the things that is kind of followed that Texas A&M team all offseason was the depth or the lack thereof at A&M right now, because they didn't pull a Deion where they were able to replace 60 guys. They lost 30 guys and maybe brought in like 10. So the depth fall off there from the first stringers to the second stringers was very evident in this game as well. Miami was able to switch guys in and out. Texas A&M couldn't. So I don't. The question is Miami back? I guess the question is what do you view Miami as being back as? Because in my opinion, for Miami to be back, they're back to like the Catholics versus convicts days where they're competing for national titles every year. They got Ed Reeds all over the field. Guys like that. They're not back to that level yet. Was it a good win? We don't know. Yeah, I mean, a good win, but do we this? I feel like that's the type of win that we'll look back on a month from now and say, well, Texas A&M honestly probably wasn't that good.
Well, okay.
So yeah,
okay.
but
I think Texas A&M is back to their 8-4 standard. So I think people will still look back and say this is a good win.
I think Texas A&M struggles to go bowl eligible, but
okay.
But yeah, go Connor. Go.
Now he's muted. Really?
Didn't even touch it.
That's
I literally
weird.
didn't mute myself, so I don't know why.
I didn't do it. I promise.
It's like when I.
Is Miami back?
When do they play?
Your
Florida
enthusiasm
State?
says it all.
When do they play Florida State?
When do they play Florida State? That's a good one, actually. If they can beat Florida State, I'd say they're way closer to being back.
I mean,
if they beat Florida State, they are back.
I mean, what's Miami's schedule?
Hold on, I got it.
They're not. Let me get it. So,
I already got it up.
What you got?
November 11th.
Okay, so here's let's look at their whole schedule. So they get.
Okay.
So they next play, or they're playing Bethune.
FAMU.
Bethune-Cookman.
They're up 47-0.
No, they're playing Bethune-Cookman. They're losing. I mean, they're winning a lot by a lot.
They're losing.
they're up 47-0. They then play at Temple. Yeah. Then they get Georgia Tech. They're at UNC. They get Clemson and UVA at home. I'm going to keep saying UAV. At NC State, at Florida State, home versus Louisville, whatever. And
okay.
then
I'm not too hung up
and
on
then they close with Boston College. So I mean, the three challenging games, I guess.
But the thing is, are they back, Connor? That's the question we're asking right now. Are they back? As of right now, are they back?
No.
No,
okay.
I don't even. I really.
That's insane.
The what pisses me off is they could very easily be undefeated going into that Clemson game.
If you know anything about Tyler Van Dyke, you'll know that he'll always choke a few games a season. So
probably.
Yeah. All right. Next up, is the SEC still the best conference? They have the worst out of conference record out of all the Power Five. I believe their record is 3-6. Are they still? Is the SEC still the best conference? Or
Well, they also don't. They also just
They're-
don't challenge themselves in the out of
Connor,
conference
hold on,
games.
They're
Connor,
not
hold
3-6.
they're 3-6.
No, they're not.
Yeah,
They're
they are.
4. They're 4-6.
Is that
What do you
against
mean?
Power Five or
Power Five. Power Five.
Did you forget Vanderbilt gave Hawaii that big giant L?
Hawaii's not
2-0?
Power
I said
Five.
Power 5. Hawaii's not Power
Why am I
5.
Yeah,
bad?
we're talking Power Five out of
I'm dumb.
conference.
Don't worry about it.
So the out of all the Power Five conferences out of conference against other Power Five, the SEC has
No,
the
no,
worst
no.
record.
I'm still wrong. Okay.
So
Yeah,
for
they're
reference,
not.
the ACC is
So
the ACC is 4-1. The Pac-12 is 7-1, with the lone loss being Arizona to Mississippi State. And I can't
It's
remember what
just
the
like
Big 12 is, but I think the Big 12 is like
it's just the
3-2 or
SEC
something like that.
doesn't. You know, the SEC's never been the best top to bottom, obviously, because you have Vanderbilt and you have every year you'll have a few really bad teams that are kind of surprising, like a Florida and LSU will have like a bad year every once in a while. Auburn, you know what I mean? That really drags it down the kind of
Well,
competition.
Well, no,
value.
the issue is that Connor, that this record has nothing to do with the bottom level teams.
Well, no, I'm not
It's
talking
the
about
top.
that. I'm talking
The
about
top
if
level.
we're talking about the best conference.
so
No,
And
what I
Memphis
mean
was
is
I'm talking about like they it was carried. You had Georgia, Bama. You would have Tennessee last year. You had LSU. You had these
LSU
teams
and
at the top, right? And it
But the
feels like
point
other than
is,
Georgia, all these teams are like taking a step back and taking
but
a
the
step.
point of the question was that because a lot of people say that this is kind of pointing to the SEC has flaws because this is the first year in a long time that the elite of the elite have played other elite teams outside of the SEC for the first time. Florida traveling for the first time for a non-con game outside of the state of
Bama,
Florida,
Bama,
and they
Bama
get
losing to
smacked.
Texas.
Bama losing to Texas, like
I
so.
gotta
There, people are saying like this is the SEC losing its shine. That
That's
It's-
what
Yeah.
Ryan. That's what I'm saying. Ryan, you
Yeah.
weren't letting me finish. Is that I don't. It doesn't. I mean, sure, they need to win those games to be the best. And I feel like it has been at least this year. It doesn't feel like they are. Even if you didn't, even if you weren't looking at that specific stat, right? Of if you just the way it just looks and kind of feels. Bama's taking a step back. Georgia feels like a very flimsy number one team because they've just been sleepwalking through the beginning part of their schedule because they haven't really had a tough game yet. For Georgia, they didn't have like a big time opening like week one game that kind of challenged them, like when they beat Clemson 2 years ago, and that kind of set the tone for their defense, right? So, I just think, I don't know. I think unfortunately East Coast bias will still probably have them as the best, but I think it's changing a little bit, and I think the Pac-12, I mean, right now does feel the best, top to bottom.
I agree. Okay.
They also, but the Pac-12, like what Liam said, is it's going to eat itself alive, and no one's. And I guarantee, I'm almost more willing to bet that two teams will come out of the SEC for the playoff than a team from the Pac-12 will, because Pac-12 is going to murder themselves, and a team's going to suffer a loss at the worst possible time.
Hey, Connor.
okay, Josh, go ahead.
What?
Are there any leaves on that bush you keep beating around? Like, are there any left, dude? That's.
Well, I was beating around the bush, but you can still jump into it, dude.
Unlike my co-host, I'm just gonna go straight to it. No, the SEC is no longer the best conference. We can come out and make all the excuses we want. Having a losing record to all these other conferences this season, I mean, it's unacceptable. I feel like teams have taken a step back, and then you see Alabama doesn't have a quarterback. Georgia has a new quarterback, and we don't know anything about him because they played um, just what Ball State and I forget who else the other team they played, whatever. And
APUI.
Ooey Pooey.
They didn't play them, but
And you know,
They did not
LSU, you
play
got
Ooey Pooey.
LSU. LSU has
LSU just
basically became the
absolutely
stepping stone for Florida State to
embarrassed
be back.
LSU. Yeah, LSU just blowing it against FSU. You had some games where Tennessee looked okay versus Virginia, but it's Virginia. Um, you've got Missouri not looking good against Middle Tennessee. There's a game that you can look at coming up is Kansas State at Missouri, I believe,
Yep.
and it doesn't look good. I don't think Missouri's going to win that one. You've got Auburn beating Cal
Barely.
unspectacularly. Yeah, really. And I mean, it's like they were so good for the past like decade, and now you're just seeing a bunch of it's just subpar play. South Carolina lost their O line, and now they've got less than 100. Oh, well, I don't know. Furman might have helped them out with that, but I mean they
I
had
mean,
negative rushing yards.
Josh, when
Um,
it's to a point where the ACC is undefeated against SEC, and we're not talking about SEC teams like
that's it's
Vandy
that's
or
that's going to change this. Well, that's not true either because I mean Tennessee beat Virginia, but
well, no, I mean, well, outside of Virginia, who we
yeah,
don't talk
yeah,
about
but
Virginia,
I mean
but
what do you got? Vanderbilt losing to Wake Forest.
yep.
I mean that was
Florida State
expected.
beating North
Florida State
Carolina beating
beat
South
LSU.
Carolina.
Yeah. Who beat? Oh yeah, North Carolina beating South Carolina. Yeah. You got. There's some good matchups coming up. I think the SEC is going to win some of those games, but as for now, it's not looking good.
Phil, what
yeah,
do you think, man?
I agree with that with the sentiment. I don't think the SEC is the best conference this year. It's pretty apparent. I think for a long time the SEC was the dominant conference. You got to give them the credit for that, even if you think that they were top heavy. Because I saw a lot of arguments saying that they've been top heavy even in the years that they were dominant. But this year it does look to be taking a toll on them as the only strong team, the only team I can see, going undefeated in that conference is Georgia. Tennessee is not who we thought they were, even though they are undefeated to this point. Alabama obviously doesn't have a quarterback. I think somebody pointed that out. He's more middle linebacker than quarterback. And
I would take the Maryland's linebacker that they started at quarterback a few years ago after all their quarterbacks got injured over Milrow.
And no disrespect to Milrow. I mean, he's still a young guy. He's still got time, I guess. He's a sophomore, right? So it's still time, but we're not used to that for Alabama, right? You're used to them having a guy ready to go, even after the last guy moved on
I mean,
to
what's
the
what's
NFL
the
or
thing
whatever.
with Nick
So,
Saban teams is reload.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
reload.
But
I think that,
that's
they haven't
obviously
reloaded.
slowed down, right?
Exactly reloaded.
and I
I
don't.
mean, I think to be fair, the rest of the team is pretty good. I'm not gonna go out and say that they're like the greatest Alabama team outside of the quarterback, but it's a good team.
Well, the thing
They
with
could
Alabama,
win
Phil, is
games.
this
Yeah,
year their quarterback's a big question mark. This is the first time in a long time that a lot of people like that aren't like SEC fans.
right.
We don't know who the Alabama starting quarter like running back is. Like we don't know the guy's name
It's worse than
or
that. I don't think I could name. I think I said this before on
a receiver
Tuesday.
either. Like
There's not a
their
single
best
player
receiver.
other than Kool-Aid McKinstry
Yeah.
before watching the Texas game. Could I name any other Alabama player?
Hold on. Could
Wow.
it be fair to say that maybe this Alabama team
I'm
isn't
upset.
like bad, right? Maybe they just don't know who they are right now, and they're
Right.
trying to be something they're not. Who knows? But I mean, we did hear a lot in the offseason for Alabama. Oh, it's going to be murder ball. We're just going to line up and run it down people's throats, and they didn't. They haven't done that. They just have not done that.
And then you got your quarterback throwing to the other team a lot.
I
That
do have
doesn't
to say,
typically.
one
What are you
thing.
upset about, Leo?
Ryan, you brought up.
I'm
You
upset.
brought up
Hoodies coming soon. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh, I'm gonna need one of those.
For
But,
sure. I got all you guys.
Thank you, Phil. But Ryan, you said like the elite teams like Florida. I take issue with that. Florida.
No. I'm talking about like Florida was just kind of an
5.5 this
exception.
year.
No. I'm talking about like brand, like the
Okay,
teams that make
okay,
up the. Florida
okay.
is a brand, but I was
gotcha.
meaning more like LSU. Like, how many times did we hear on this or talk about on this show or hear on ESPN people
I mean,
blow
LSU.
about
I mean, yeah.
LSU?
They were like, "Oh, LSU is going to blow out FSU," and everyone was wrong. Phil, I'm sorry for cutting you off on that. Go ahead, buddy.
No, I cut you off. I was done. I actually
Oh,
said
okay.
what I needed to say about the
Oh,
SEC.
who do you guys think is the best conference? Is that the Pac-12, which is kind of ironic because this is the last year of
Pac-12
it?
has the best QBs.
Without question, the Pac-12 has the best quarterbacks. It's not
Who
even
is
close.
Georgia's QB? I don't even know who Georgia's QB is now because Stetson Bennett was
Carson,
there. Because Stetson Bennett's been
Beck.
there since before
Yeah,
Matthew
Carson
Stafford
Beck.
got drafted.
Carson
So,
Beck.
Yeah.
No, so
what's his name?
you guys, because
right.
I
Jason
think the
Beck?
Pac-12.
Carson
I
Beck.
think
Carson Beck? Oh, that sounds even worse. That sounds like
I
the whitest like high school douchebag I've ever heard. Carson.
I think
was.
I just can imagine he had the lacrosse bro hair in high school. And
Dude
probably
eats
still
mayonnaise
does.
on toast. He's so
Yeah.
white. Go ahead.
Anyways, I think the Pac-12 is the best top to bottom right now. As you can see, they have 8 teams ranked within the top 25 more than any. I think it's actually more than double any other conference right now.
Nah, it can't be because it's the Big Ten.
No, dude, I was looking at the things, and I think the second most teams that a conference has is like 3 or 4. So, I mean, it's insane how deep that Pac-12 is. And if
It's
I'm looking
still
at it right
very
now, top to
early,
bottom,
though.
I mean, well, who do you think the best team in the Pac-12 is right now? I mean,
Colorado.
SC,
Colorado.
Josh, shut it. I mean, what, SC, Oregon,
Colorado.
Washington, maybe? Like,
Maybe.
who, I mean, if we're being honest, if we sat here and put Washington and Alabama on a neutral site, I think we're all maybe thinking Washington.
I think
Washington
could
would probably
blow
win.
them out of the water with their offense alone.
Yeah, like we'd probably
Honestly.
all take Washington. I mean,
I'd probably take Washington
and,
too.
and if you're going down the line, maybe that Washington Georgia game that would be in the same game to watch. That would be a good game to watch. Georgia USC would be a good game to watch too. I mean, there was a long time where
Wait.
if you asked, let's see, Michigan, Ohio State, whoever comes out of the Big Ten, if they play Bama, who you taking? 9 out of 10 times the last 10, 15 years. Oh, give me Alabama. Give me Georgia. Give me Florida, whoever the top team
Okay.
is, like, and it's no
This
question.
is gonna
Now you're starting to
sound
question.
weird. This is gonna sound weird when I say this. I'll take Bama over Ohio State.
Oh, yeah. With the way Ohio State's looks?
And I would still take Bama over Michigan.
I don't know if
It's
I'd do
gonna
that.
sound weird.
Disrespect.
I'm sorry. It sounds weird when I say that, but it's.
I think I would take Penn State over Bama.
Thank you.
I would take.
Oh wait, hold on. Thank you, Connor. That I think Penn State would beat Alabama. And
Okay,
that's
now
weird
I'm
to
really
say.
confused.
Like, yeah, right? I think Penn State is
Clearly,
scary.
it's time for me to go to bed.
Phil's about to get off and be like, I'm taking Leo and me with me.
Feels like, all right, no hoodie.
Very scary.
Penn State's scary.
Real quick,
I
Phil.
think Penn State is a threat this year.
Okay, Connor,
Okay,
let's
I think Penn State is the biggest threat to Michigan this year. Absolutely. But yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Next up, because we spent a lot of time on that. Thoughts on the Norvell Deion beef?
I got it.
He's a, he's
I
a
got this one.
dumbass.
I got this one, guys. I got it. It's
For
a
those
nothing
who
burger. Nobody cares. Colorado was going to blow out Colorado State anyways. Who cares? They're trying to find a story for this game that's not going to matter. They're trying to justify all these shows going to this game like they don't want to just be in Colorado in September
I mean,
because it's beautiful and the weather's awesome.
Because what, game day, big noon kickoff, first
60
take,
minutes.
and there's a
60 minutes.
60 minutes.
60
yeah.
minutes.
60 minutes.
Wait, 60 minutes is there?
Where are all
Yes.
these people who hate
I think they're
Deion
bringing back
Sanders?
hard copy. They're going to be there.
Okay, guys,
Well,
let's keep this more organized.
First thing,
because we're all
first
just kinda
things
jumping
first.
in.
My personal
Sorry.
favorite show is going to be there probably at this rate.
Connor. All right. Phil, go ahead. What are your thoughts
You want
on
me
this
to
one?
go first?
Yeah.
I already went. Go ahead, buddy.
So, thoughts on Norvell Deion? I think it was absurd to say that. First of all, the first thing I did, because I was like, you know what? Let me make sure this guy lives what he preaches. I literally in YouTube, you can do this. Type in Jay Norvell post game interview. 2 videos down, he's wearing a hat. I'm like, bro, chill out, man. This doesn't even make sense now. So not only are you like not practicing what you preach, it's clearly just a shot at Deion for whatever reason. And just say what it is. If you don't like Deion, just say that. Don't say, oh, he wears hats and his sunglasses when he's talking to grown men. Like, first of all, the notion that it's only grown men in that post game, it speaks to America's patriarchal society. He didn't even mention women in that room. He didn't even. He probably doesn't see women.
He wears
all the
sunglasses.
secretaries in there
The guy-
taking notes.
Exactly.
How
So-
dare.
Yeah. So it was a ridiculous statement, and you know what Deion did with it was, you know, the probably wasn't. He didn't need to do that. They're going to win this game anyway, but you know, whatever. It's entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have an issue with what Norvell said. I actually personally kind of like it because
Because you
you
hate
know,
Deion Sanders?
no, because if Deion can say wild, outlandish stuff every week about his team, why can't somebody else do it? Somebody else does it for once, and Deion gets offended. So it's kind of like you can't have your steak and eat it too. You gotta if you're gonna talk,
This is
like
so
talk to
bogus,
talk,
bro.
like then when somebody else chirps at you, you can't get offended and be like, "Oh man, well he made
Okay,
it
I got it.
personal. He made it personal." Like you got your
Yeah.
feelings hurt, Dion.
He
Come on,
did not.
man. Like
No. Come on. The one thing I don't like that Deion Sanders does is he's like, nobody believed it. And now this is not verbatim, but he acts like it's a race thing, right? Nobody believed it. No, it's because nobody believed that you could like transfer in a whole team and have instant success.
because nobody did it before.
Yeah, because nobody did it before. Trust me, Dion. It had nothing with the hue
Did you
of your
hear that?
skin.
Did you see the clip of him with the team
But
after
you
this
just-
came out? Did you see like
I just-
the dude is sitting there going,
I
he's
love
like-
Deion Sanders. I do.
like
I do
He's
like
have a lot more-
Dion's like
He's got the
he,
swag,
I was
he's got-
I was
he's
doing
got-
hold
nice
on, guys,
commercial.
hold on.
He's doing commercials now.
I like Dion. Like I don't like him as a person. I don't like his attitude about stuff, but he's starting to grow on me as a coach because like he has won a couple games. Now that competition is really bad. So let's see what he does when he plays Oregon and Autzen next week. But after this, it's like, dude, come on, man. You're getting my respect. And then there's amazing, like it's Colorado State. Like it's not even like it's like Alabama Nick Saban saying, man, I don't, when I talk to grown-ups, I take my hat and my sunglasses off. Like that would be like I would take, okay, I can understand that. But you mean to tell me, like, if you watch the clip, he's like, hey man, I'm sitting here, I'm watching film, and then I see it come across my phone, the Colorado State head coach. He said, I see all this bull jive of this guy talking about I'm not an adult. I only speak to
Did
adults.
he use the word bull jive?
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't curse. So he says dern and bull.
Well, I like
John?
even more now.
Yeah.
And so he said, my feelings are hurt. Man, this was going to be a great game for Colorado. This was going to be a classic, but he had to go on now, make it personal. He had to go make it personal.
Well, he
And you
did.
hear all the
It
guys in the
is pretty
back.
personal.
Yeah.
Look. Okay, honestly,
He
all right.
didn't just say.
For a second.
Go ahead.
If he just said, if I was in when I'm in a room with grown men, I take my hat, my glasses off, it'd be different. However, not only was that, just a blatant lie, because as I told you, you search his videos and video number 2 is him with a freaking hat on. So that automatically disqualifies the statement. But he went a step further and said, that's what my mother
Oh, wait,
taught
Phil,
me,
did you
as
make
if,
sure?
hold on,
Did you make sure
as
there
if
weren't little
No,
kids?
no.
as
He's
if
right.
Deion's mother taught him something different. Like, that made it personal. Now you've interjected like something
You
completely
have
other than just,
you have
because
invoked the mothers.
now you're talking about his upbringing and
Yeah, you're talking
the
about
Oh,
difference
see, I
in
didn't
your
see that.
upbringing.
I didn't
Yeah.
see that.
kind of stuff.
I didn't see that. I saw the only clip I saw was him talking about grown-ups and that he was sick of hearing about Deion in
So
Colorado.
verbatim, he's like, well, I see Deion in that press conference wearing a hat and sunglasses, and my mama taught me to, not wear a hat and sunglasses when I was having,
Right.
talking with men. And I'm like,
Oh, can I
you,
say I don't think
like,
that I don't think he was meaning it like in that way.
oh,
Like,
that's no, because I
no.
think he did. I think he
You
meant
don't
it as
need to say it then. Like, you don't
I
need to
was
bring your
raised from.
mother into it in
So
that
so would
way.
you
Like,
have rather would you guys would have been okay with like him just saying flat out like I don't like Deion, I don't like what
absolutely.
he's
I
doing
think
in
Yeah,
that I
Colorado?
think
that's
that
Like
makes more sense than to
yeah.
try to say, yo, he wears hats and sunglasses to the post game conferences. Who does that? And then we literally Google you, and that's the first thing we
Shame.
see. It's not even I
do
didn't have
you
to
think do
scroll
you
down.
guys think that
It's
it was
literally on page 1.
do you guys think that it had anything to do with the fact that, he understands like, hey, like we're probably gonna get our ass kicked in this game, so let me give my team something to get fired up about?
I,
Like
honestly, I think it was a jab that he wanted to take because he knows that on the field he won't be able to take any jabs.
Why wasn't
or how
this
do you think that
latitude given to Deion game 1? I'm just
Thank
saying,
you.
using your logic on you, Ryan. If
Mhm.
he thought he's going to get his ass kicked by Colorado and he's just using this, why wouldn't Deion think the team that nobody said was going to win? By the way, everybody here said TCU was going to win.
TCU. Yep.
Why wouldn't
Yeah.
he then be using, nobody thinks we're going to win to motivate his team? But that was taken as disrespect, or not disrespect, but people were offended by him saying that, including you, by the way. And now
Right.
you're saying to the guy who's now brought his mother into it, not Deion, he didn't
No, so
specifically mention Deion's
I didn't
mother,
see the mother
but
part. I didn't see the
Yeah.
mother part. So that's
yeah.
different. That makes
But
it
either
different.
way, you're giving him the latitude of, oh, he's using this as bulletin board material for his team, as if Deion didn't enter this season with a 1-11 football team with all new players and take out a top 25 team. Now, granted,
Well, the
maybe they
thing is
shouldn't have
like
been top 25,
the thing
but
is I think
that's
with Colorado,
different argument.
the difference with Colorado is I think Deion doesn't like when he uses stuff for quote bulletin board, I don't think he
Yeah.
genuinely like when coaches typically do that, that's because you don't think that your team has the advantage. So you want to use every little thing that you can to give your team the best shot to have that advantage in the game. That's what board material typically is when the team's not favored and you're underdog, all that stuff.
Wasn't that the case?
That
Deion
was
legitimately thinks, like we all talk about, every coach wants to think that their team can win a national title at the beginning of
Right.
every year because it's your
Right.
team. Deion legitimately thinks everything he says is the truth. And he doesn't waver in it at all.
I think you've gone too far. And what I think, okay,
Maybe
Deion,
he does.
okay,
How many people are watching right now?
4.
I got 4.
4 people. In the comment section, by the way, hit the like and share button. Share this live. Make sure you like it, share it. Let's get some more people in here. But in the comment section,
TCU was bad.
let us know what you think about the the CSU, Colorado State. I'm sure nobody is familiar with them or their coach Jay Norvell before today. And Colorado beef. Let's get
Now,
your opinions on it.
is he the
Can we
younger
move
brother
on?
of
I don't
Mike
care about
Norvell?
this
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. Is
I
he
care so
the?
little about this. I haven't even got given my own thoughts about it.
Is this so?
That's
Is
true.
I
Connor
know.
has
I
not
said it was
said a
nothing
word
burger.
about this.
is Jay Norvell the younger brother of Mike Norvell? Are they related in any way?
You feel like they would be.
How many
They
Norvells
are
is it?
related.
I don't know how many Norvells can we have in the sport of college football.
So I wonder if how Mike feels about this. All right, moving on. I don't know if Phil's prepared for this, but
Yeah.
Heisman top 5 after a week 2. Since we may not be prepared for this. Josh, you go
Bleacher
first.
Report on this.
I go first. Thank you.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna start at 1 and work my way back. I've got Caleb Williams. I have Shedeur Sanders. I have Michael Penix Jr. I've got Quinn Ewers, and I'm kind of blanking on a 5th right now. John Rice Plumlee.
Will be
Throwing a name out there.
but he's
So
gonna be
I
out.
know you guys. I know you guys are gonna find some other
Wait,
guys
Josh,
to throw
John
in
Rice
there.
Plumlee is injured. He's out. He might
Is
be
he
done for
injured
the year.
now? Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
I
gonna be
forgot.
out
Last,
for
last
weeks.
drive of the
He's
game.
injured.
Damn it. Never mind.
Okay, do you want me to go? What do you think of a 5th?
I'm not even gonna think of a 5th. You get my 4. Enjoy it.
Winning.
Josh, we are officially sponsored by White Castle.
White
I
Castle.
need
You
some
went to
White
White
Castle.
Castle and got onion rings and not chicken rings? I'm disgusted.
The last time I had White Castle, it didn't taste as good. I don't know why.
Do you
Well, I
even
had
have
twice.
White Castle over
It
by
didn't
you?
compare as good to
Who, me?
the first time.
I'm talking to Connor. Do you even have
okay.
White Castle by you?
I don't know. Actually, it's a good question.
Okay, so probably not.
Well, I'd have to see. Okay, whatever. Anyway, number 1, Caleb Williams, of course. 2, I think. I don't think it's Quinn. I still want another game for viewers. He'll be 3 for me. Honestly, I think it's Shedeur Sanders 2, Quinn Ewers 3. I'll do Hartman 4, and 5. Penix. Actually, no, Penix 4, Hartman 5.
Well,
I'm just pulling it out of my ass, but I do think that.
Go ahead, Phil.
I think Caleb Williams is number 1. I was trying to decide between Shedeur and Michael Penix, but given that Shedeur has more yards and a better passing completion percentage, I'll go with Shedeur. Michael Penix number 3, Sam Hartman number 4, and then I got JJ McCarthy at number 5. He's got the highest completion percentage in America by a lot. It's not even close.
What's his completion percentage?
He's completing like 87% of his passes.
Oh, probably.
So the disrespect to Jordan Travis on all of your guys' list is absolute foolery.
He's gonna come back up later on.
Dude, I got Jordan Travis is still my number 1 after his game against LSU.
1?
Yes,
number 1.
Number 1. I'm ranking based off.
He was number 1.
So I'm not ranked. So Phil, just so you know, I'm not ranking based off of last year. I don't give a crap that Caleb Williams won it last year. Like, the only reason people have Caleb Williams top 10 or top 5 right now is because of what he did last year, and he's the Heisman favorite. Like, because people
and
think
he's got
he's
12 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 78% completion percentage, 870
It doesn't
yards.
matter.
Against
it doesn't matter. Again,
again,
it doesn't matter.
It's not like most of the guys we're talking about have played like great competition yet. Except for Jordan Travis. Jordan Travis has.
Yes. Jordan Travis. That's what I mean. Jordan Travis has won for that reason because he has it. He's already had his Heisman moment. Like Caleb Williams has not had that yet. So that's where I'm going. 1 is Jordan Travis. He has not moved from last week. Number 2, I got Quinn Ewers all the way from out of nowhere.
Oh my God.
Going on the road to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, taking down the Crimson Tide. I'm happy, and I would not have put him on this list if he were to pull a Sam Ellinger after that game and say Texas is
Oh,
back.
that was bad.
They tried baiting him so hard into doing that. If you watch the post game interview, so thank you, Quinn, for not doing that. Number 3, I got Michael Penix Jr. Right now, I think him and Washington have the best offense in college football. Yes, better than USC's. I think that USC Washington game is going to be that game might have damn near 200 points scored total by the time that game is said and done. And then number 4, I got Caleb Williams. He fell from 2 last week to 4. Just been more impressed overall with other guys' performances against other top tier teams. And then number 5, I got Sam Hartman. He had his kind of a more notch under his belt playing on the road against NC State. Not a top 25 team, but they're annually a top 10 defense in college football every year statistically. They hadn't given up 30 plus points in a game since 2021, which was against Wake. So that's a good defense, and he dropped 45 on them. So Sam Hartman number 5, and then if I'm getting like some honorable mentions, Jalen Daniels, JJ McCarthy, and God, who else am I missing? I think that's it. So Jalen Daniels and JJ McCarthy are kind of like the 2 guys on the outside looking in.
All right. I just got a couple things I want to discuss here. Who has Michael Penix played so far?
Boise State was better than anyone Caleb Williams has played.
But are they like some world beat? Are they like a good team?
Yeah, they're a good team. They damn near beat UCF.
So Boise State. Oh, now they're setting the world on fire. Boise State, a good team. Damn near beat UCF.
Is Boise State better than Nevada?
Huh?
Boise State would you take Boise State over Nevada, Stanford, and San Jose State?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would take them. Caleb Williams has the highest rating in college football. It's 240. Like, you understand like how crazy that is for him to be 4th on your list. You didn't even mention Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders has more passing yards than everybody in America, not named the guy from Hawaii.
Austin Reed has the same amount of touchdown passes as Caleb Williams for 2 weeks. And has about almost the immune and he plays for Western Kentucky. Should we put him on the list because he has the same?
You didn't bring him up.
I'm saying like, but nobody's gonna bring up Austin Reed because he plays at Western Kentucky and he plays Conference USA competition. Like, come on.
But the idea, okay.
All right. I don't want to bog your
hate
show down. I'm sure you got other things to get to.
I hate that we had that, but they ain't played nobody. Who did they play? They haven't played nobody.
Austin Reed, by the way, has 6 touchdowns, bro. That's half of what Caleb Williams has, by the way. You just like say things.
No. I was meaning last year.
He has 6 touchdowns. Okay.
Yeah.
I was meaning last year because I actually believe Austin Reed had more passing yards.
Okay, but guys,
anyway,
we forget what the Heisman is. It's a popularity contest.
Pretty much.
Stunners and bummers for week 2. I don't know, Phil. I don't expect you to do this, but
I don't expect me to do it either. I've done forgot.
You did not done forgot, Josh. You better done forget.
I done forgot. I'll give you no. I'll give you a stunner, right?
Yep.
I'll give you this stat. Okay. The quarterback for South Carolina,
Spencer Rattler.
Yes, sir.
Completed 93.6% of his passes last Saturday against Furman.
How many total passes is that, though? Is it like 30?
Let me pull it up.
Because if it's like under 20, that's not impressive, in my opinion.
It's more than 20, I believe. Pull this up because they don't They don't have a line. They can't run the ball.
That's true.
Let's see.
Like VT, they can't run the ball.
Yeah, they can't run the ball. By the way, South Carolina's playing Georgia this week.
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
You know what's hilarious? I just realized we all took Mississippi State to beat LSU Saturday, except Josh.
Yeah, because I'm not an idiot. 25 of 27, 345 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Okay, that's pretty good.
They put a backup quarterback in. He went 4 for 4 for 86 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Furman defense must be pretty terrible.
Furman defense is dog water, but
It's Furman. I will.
It is Furman, but
I will.
Completing
that
93% of your
Mississippi
passes
State?
is nuts. And that's
All
my
right,
stunner.
I'm calling it right now.
Who's your
Oh, I do know who my bummer is actually. The kicker for UNC. Come on, man. Just make the field goal at the end. That man is an automatic transmission. He's got no clutch. And then cannot kick a game-winning field goal.
Well, he kicked one in. No, they got a touchdown. Never mind. I was like,
he did not kick one in OT. He could not kick a game winning. He had 2 tries. Missed him.
All right. So I'll go next so Connor can get his stuff together. So my stunner of the week is going to be Devin Neal, the running back for Kansas. Dude absolutely has been going off so far this year. He is averaging 11 yards a carry this season. 11 through 2 games. Now I know that's against Missouri State and Illinois, but that is pretty damn impressive. 11 yards a carry. Against Illinois, he had 10 rush attempts for 120 yards for 12 yards a carry, a touchdown, along of 43. The kid is absolutely electric, and I think he actually might be up there as a top 5 running back in all of college football when it's all said and done. So that's my stunner. My bummer of the week is going to go to Jaden Milroe, the quarterback that never was at Alabama.
Just hoping for Tyler Buckner to take over at this point.
Dude, did you not see the report? Tyler Buckner's taking all the first team reps in practice this week for Alabama.
And they're going to crash and burn even worse with him under center, probably.
And Bama fans want Ty Simpson. He was like a 5-star quarterback recruit from, I believe, last year to start. And all the reports out of Alabama camp is that Ty Simpson is, quote, just not ready. So yeah, they're in a bad situation. But for Jed Miller, he went 14 for 27, completed only 51% of his passes for 255 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 INTs, and got sacked 5 times. He also lost 31 yards from either scrambling or taking sacks. Somehow he finished with a QB rating of 140, though, which is still better than anything Graham Mertz has ever put up in his entire career.
It's probably better than Grant Wells' career quarterback rating at this point.
But it's just funny to me how fast
this Memphis and Navy game is just turnover city. They've literally had back-to-back turnovers.
And Josh didn't want me to put it in pick'ems.
Oh. Okay, I'll go.
Anyway, I just think it's funny how Jaden Milroe goes from after he I think he had 5 touchdowns against Middle Tennessee State and Bama fans love him. And then he sucks against Texas and Bama fans hate him.
That's the duality of being a quarterback, unfortunately, sometimes. Okay. I'll go. So give Phil. So mine was Omer. I can't remember how to pronounce his name. I think it's Omarion Hampton, the UNC running back. He had 26 rushes for 234 yards and 3 touchdowns in that win over App State. I picked him up in fantasy, and I believe I have him starting this week, hoping that he can continue that because Drake May has been an utter disappointment for me so far in fantasy. An honorable mention goes to what's his name? It's Mike Hollins, the running back for UVA. Scored 2 touchdowns in his first game back first home game back, excuse me, for UVA.
He was one of the guys that got shot, right?
He was the
On
one
the
who was
bus?
shot and survived. Yeah. So props to him. And then, but unfortunately, my bummer is UVA's collapse. They were up 30. They were up 35-24 with like 12 minutes left, and then they got a 45-minute rain delay because of those storms that came through and affected the entire East Coast this past weekend.
And
so they gave up 2 long touchdown drives of like 80 plus yards, and to JMU, who then won by a single point, 36-35, to claim the best team in Virginia title.
give me that point.
Yes.
The JMU and the Pickles.
I think I took JMU too. I think we all did, honestly.
We did not. Some people took Virginia.
Well, I definitely
No,
did.
we all took James
we?
Madison.
All
Yep.
take James Madison? No way.
Yep.
Could have sworn.
Nope.
I think we did, honestly. And we all, I think we all thought we were gonna get him. So it sucked. I kind of was rooting for UVA because of what happened, but at the same time, I'm happy to see it happen.
All right, guys. Starting with Josh, who is your surprise team of the week? Where I don't even know if we have a collective one, so we'll just all pick our own for this week.
Oh, this past week?
Yep.
Ooh, boy.
So we're actually doing our own.
You know, honestly, for me, it was Texas.
Texas?
I was still under the impression that,
they weren't back?
Alabama, well, yeah, that Alabama was going to take care of business. They would figure stuff out, all that kind of stuff. I'm very surprised
Lucas was the
when
only
I
one
saw.
that took Texas in the pick'ems. So.
Yeah, I was very surprised to see Alabama play so poorly, and very surprised to see the Alabama fans streaming out of Bryant Denny with 3.5 minutes left to play.
I haven't seen a Bama fan that depressed since the kick 6.
That's the first time I saw Bama fans streaming out of a game early since the Ole Miss game that had the famous crazy long touchdown pass where the quarterback dropped the ball and then just threw it up into triple
Chad
coverage.
Kelly got hit,
Absolutely
destroyed.
throws, and it just bounces right into a receiver's hands for a long touchdown.
You know who that was, right? That was AJ Brown.
No, it wasn't Brown. He was thrown to Brown, but it deflected off of him into a different receiver's hands.
I swore it was AJ Brown.
No, I was I think he was a former Ravens receiver. But anyway,
Was it Treadwell?
Treadwell?
No, not Treadwell either. I would have to find the clip.
Oh gosh.
But anyway, that game at one point I think they were Ole Miss was up like by 21 in the fourth quarter, and then Alabama scored 2 late touchdowns to get a chance, make it a lot closer. But I think that's the last time I've seen that. My surprise team, I'll say, is Utah, but in a negative way, because
they're not a Cam Rising.
Well, but they still that's a bad Baylor team, and that should have been pass interference in the end zone. So Baylor should have had the ball, 1st and 10, get one more shot. After this is the goal, they should have gotten one more shot. Plus, that Utah defense was terrible on the play before. Let the guy get right behind them and go right up the sideline. And so
I'm so surprised nobody's talking about that PI call.
Yeah.
Bill, did you get to see that play by chance?
Yeah,
I did. I was watching it live. That was definitely PI.
I think we might have been watching that game here.
I shared it in the chat. I don't think we were watching it per se, but
yeah, I don't know. But
I was watching that game live when it happened.
So Phil, who is your surprise team of the week?
I think Wazoo is my surprise team of the week.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Not that I thought like Wisconsin was like a world beater or anything like that, but I did expect Wisconsin to handle business against Washington State. Obviously, that didn't happen. So Wazoo, my surprise team.
All right. For me, my surprise team is going to be Tulane. I know they ended up losing the game, but for them to have a lead all the way up until the fourth quarter against Ole Miss, who is now a top 15 team in college football without their starting quarterback, what typically happens, guys, when we see a team like UCF in recent years, or a Tulane team now that loses their star quarterback, they tend to fall back to a group of five status. Well, Tulane did not play like a group of five team. They played like a damn SEC team against Ole Miss that game.
Mhm.
If they had Michael Pratt, they probably win that game. So I think that was a very impressive showing for Tulane. It just sucks that they have to, they get that loss, and it wasn't,
It
a
was
fair loss because they didn't have their star quarterback.
it was out of it was for Treadwell, but it bounced into the hands of Adebayo.
Oh,
At
okay.
Ole Miss play. I think it's Quincy Adebayo, or however you say his last
All right.
name.
Yeah.
All right, next up, meme team of the week. Josh, I believe we picked our meme team of the week. We all did collectively.
We did.
Did you send those to the chat? Did you send
I did send them to the chat. They're kind of deep in the chat. You might have to do some scrolling.
They're way back. They're way down there, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Jiminy Crickets. Well, while I do this, you guys want to, entertain the audience while I do this? Because this is going to be a minute.
Memphis,
Absolutely.
Navy has the ball second and 10 inside the Memphis 25, down 4 with 42 seconds left. Trying to pass. Literally, the past 3 drives have been Memphis fumble at the 1 yard line.
Cool. As you do.
I got it pulled up.
Navy fumble near the 50, and then Memphis throws a pick.
Yeah, as you do.
Turnover City.
Here
The
we
past
go.
3 drives.
We are back, guys. There we go. So our meme team of the week is Alabama.
Well, it's Texas, but
It was Texas.
in a good way.
Texas is our meme team of the week.
Because the meme team and the surprise team isn't just like surprise team good or good teams, meme teams, bad team, right? It can be either or. So like I chose Utah for my surprise team for being bad, right? This is a meme team because Texas is back is still just hilarious.
Look at me.
Look at me. I am back.
All right, let's see what else we got.
I got a lot of them. So.
You should have had the Undertaker one where he's like dead and it's like Texas's face on him, and then he grabs him by the throat, like say the line part. Texas is back.
Yeah. Lots of good ones this week.
Oh man,
there's so many more.
I appreciate road win, or no,
respectable road win.
2-0.
2-0.
Yeah, temper expectations.
Haven't played a conference game yet. Temper expectations. Texas is back. Snort that cocaine.
Seriously, it's week 2.
Snort it now.
See, these are the type of.
Raise a man his salary, Texas, if they're back.
Yeah.
Oh man, those are great. What
a play by Memphis' defense.
Texas fans trying not to say back. Dude, that is literally what Quinn Ewers looked like when they asked him if he was back.
He just.
What is? The arrogant.
No, I picture, Quinn Ewers looking like that, and then I just picture him looking to the stands, and he just sees, Sam Ellinger, and Sam Ellinger's like,
Don't
do
it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a curse.
I know you won't do, but don't do it.
Don't do it.
All right, and then our final topic will kind of just leads us into.
I'm just imagining like the next one you could have done with that Texas is back is the seagull where it's like head goes back, it's like, and it just shouts. Texas is back.
No. Right. So real quick, last topic of the night. What game are you guys most excited for in week 3?
It's
It's
definitely
terrible
not
slate.
Vanderbilt. It's definitely not VT versus Rutgers. I'm definitely not excited for that.
Starting with
Dear
you, Josh. What game are you most
That's
excited
not
to
your own
watch?
team, Phil.
I
Have your
got
own
you.
team, Phil.
I
Cannot
got
be
you. I got you. It's gonna have to be Vanderbilt at UNLV. Let's go, baby. Anchor down.
Let's
We're
go,
not.
Rebels.
No.
Going for
What
3
a,
wins.
hold on. What an absolute stinker of a week, right?
There's no good games.
It
I'm not even
there are no
excited.
good games. And here's the thing: it's Illinois' fault. There are no good games because it's Illinois' fault.
Because Illinois
they
isn't
lost.
good enough to play
isn't good
PSU.
enough. Yeah. And you better believe Fox was like, PSU and Illinois.
We need to get back there for that 9 overtime game. I remember sitting in my car watching that game the entire time.
LSU Mississippi State might be good.
Yeah,
This
maybe.
is
You
just
got South
maddening.
Carolina at Georgia, Arkansas, BYU. That could be a good one.
But give
Rocket
me
Sanders is out.
Colorado versus Colorado State.
Oh, come
feel
on,
like you need to
Phil.
watch
Let's
that.
go.
I feel like you need to watch because
Let's
of what
go.
of this whole beef.
Phil, wait, no.
I need to
Phil, what
watch
are you
for
watching
the
for?
post-game handshake
Yes.
and the post-game
Yes.
interviews.
Oh, the
of
post
both
game
coaches.
handshake is gonna be so salty.
I want
Dion's
Deion
gonna have,
Sanders
like,
to hand
Wait a
him
minute,
some
hold on a
sunglasses.
He's got like the
Hold on a
biggest shades ever.
Hold on a minute, Phil. Wait, so if when Colorado State loses, do we think the coach goes to his post game and wears a hat and sunglasses?
He better.
He should.
He
If he wants kids to come to his school,
He better.
come to
Sunglass
Colorado
up, buddy.
State. We wear glasses and hats too.
He better do it for the rest of the season.
Right.
Right.
They should bet. They should make a wager on whether or not he wears hats and sunglasses to.
He's gonna have like those big over the gigantic.
I want
hats
him
that
to have
baseball
like a
teams have
big
had.
foam cowboy hat.
Oh yeah.
No. I'm talking about like the
Oh,
big oversized like tops hats
Like
that
big
like the big cap that's like goes all the way around.
Oh.
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
All right. So the one I'm most excited to watch is this is funny because I think it's like a sickos committee game of the week. I want to watch
It's about
it.
UNLV.
I am actually excited to watch 2 games this week. FIU at UConn and Virginia Tech against Rutgers. I want to see because they're both terrible games, and I want to see who's more terrible.
Watch. VT Rutgers is somehow gonna become a massive shootout somehow, and it's gonna be like
I don't want to hear about
nowhere.
I don't want to
VT
hear that.
has not
I don't want-
scored more than 30
Connor.
points in a game under Brent Pryce so far.
Connor, I don't want to hear that kind of language.
They haven't scored
when we're talking
30,
about
you said?
Virginia
They
schools.
haven't even scored 30 in a game since Brent Pryce took
Oh
over. as
my
head coach.
God, that's not great. That's not good at
No.
all.
Connor, you gotta watch your language when you're talking about Virginia schools and shooting. Okay.
Oh, damn it.
And it's not okay.
What about North
Virginia
Carolina
Tech's
schools?
gonna have a shootout.
It took
That's
me a
not a
second.
good
I
thing.
was like, what?
You can always go to William and Mary though.
So can we not talk about anytime So was that North Carolina App State game not a shootout?
No,
No.
Or was that North Carolina?
no, I'm not calling that. No,
What's up, Nick?
no. See, because like
Not
they
even
just
that-
had.
Cancel.
Okay,
I don't want this on.
Okay. No, guys, because they locked down today because somebody waved a gun at a bagel shop nearby. I'm not kidding.
That was yesterday. That was
yesterday. Okay,
that was the big news
yesterday.
You know what?
North Carolina or Virginia Tech?
North Carolina did.
North Carolina, because there was that shooting 2 weeks ago
Right.
or a week,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
so another. Supposedly, he actually was on. It was a bagel shop on campus, and then he
They
went.
don't even lock down schools because I went to school by Chicago, and
What they're
they
gonna
don't
start
even
doing
live-
is they're gonna have like
they didn't
entire.
even- Dude, we had a guy get stabbed at our local Popeyes over the chicken sandwich being back, and they didn't even lock down the school.
That's
Like,
a
by the way.
typical
So bad for
behavior at
Chicago.
Popeyes, dude. That's what you got to do. That's just par for the course at a Popeyes, right?
The dude
Just
cut him in
Popeyes
line.
rhetoric, man.
Like based on the videos I've seen about literally what I've seen from RDC
I'm not laughing
World
at this.
about Popeyes. what
I
I've
don't
seen
know,
from the
guys. I don't know.
RDC
I don't
World
know. But
about Popeyes, that's like not even the worst thing that can happen at a Popeyes.
No.
Is
I had
somebody
Popeyes tonight.
hey guys,
Popeyes
I love that chicken at Popeyes.
I was strapped.
love that chicken from Popeyes.
Dude. You know what? It was funny because like the dude, I guess what happened is they were excited because the chicken sandwich just came back.
So
Dude cuts him in line.
who won this? Like the character from Futurama? I gotta get my stabbing on.
You know what's even funnier is if it had been for like if it had been at McDonald's for the McRib coming back because they bring it back every year. Like the McRib is going away forever. Oh no, it's actually back for a month or something.
No, but anyway, so I guess what happened is he's in line and this guy walks in and just cuts him in line. And then if he's cut. Oh, I'm sorry. If we're cutting in line, we're cutting in line. Let's do.
I mean, if we're cutting something, I'm gonna be cutting you.
Like literally cutting.
Yeah,
that's horrible though.
Oh man,
cutting in here.
We are
To
such
be fair, Ryan,
we are such terrible people.
If they if they
So
locked
terrible.
up schools in Chicago,
I
anytime
know
there
this
was
person.
violence nearby, what would be the point of school in Chicago? I'm making you joke. Not
Dude, we
all
had
of
a bomb
Chicago is
threat.
like this. This is way
we
too
had a
big of a
bomb
city.
threat and they still made us go back to school.
Well, yeah, you're going back to school. What do you mean?
No, I mean they had.
Well, you think
they had
because
a bomb
somebody commits a felony and says there's going to be a bomb at school, you think you can just get out of school like that?
Yeah, for that
I mean,
day.
I remember my middle school got locked down when there was a bank robbery at a bank. Right
Our stream's gonna get taken down just for saying bomb.
You guys are getting canceled for
you
so
should
many
emphasize
reasons.
that word and keep saying it.
Oh, we're gonna get canceled. I mean, I'm surprised we haven't been at this rate with the amount of how dark.
I know with the amount of like tragedies Connor keeps alluding to every single episode.
That's true. First, I talked about the Marshall. And
The Marshall airplane going down.
The Marshall, choosing Marshall versus East Carolina.
That was the first time since the plane crash that Marshall came back with something good from leaving East Carolina.
You know what?
Oh, did Marshall win? Oh, I didn't even realize that. Did I pick Marshall? I can't remember.
The time that, yeah, it's
all right.
The only reason we're not being canceled is because we're not that big. If we had like 200,000 subscribers, we'd probably be
if we ever get big, people are going to go back and look at this.
This is going to be horrible.
Right. Yeah. You guys got to delete
We're going to be researching. We got to delete everything. As soon as we hit like 3K,
we're like the very younger brother of Barstool, because Barstool pushes the envelope too with that stuff.
Right.
Because they literally
I just read an article where Barstool like stole like all of like this like
Barstool literally will just like drop the F-bomb every 5 words in their articles. It's hilarious. It's just like
wow.
It's just like someone copied something being said at a bar.
What did Barstool do, Phil?
They so it was like back when they were getting started. What they did is they created a bunch of burner accounts. And they would take, because if you're a business or something like that, and you take like somebody's intellectual property, like a video or something, and you tweet that, or whatever, then they could come after you, right?
Yeah, right, Ryan.
But with all these I saw what happened to you, Ryan. With all these burner accounts, which by the way, I'm surprised because I steal people's photos all the time. I probably shouldn't say that a lot.
Dude, Rivals, it's just Rivals. Rivals is a bitch. Nah.
But they were doing this with a bunch of burner accounts, and somehow, but the idiots were like making the burner accounts with like the Barstool, whatever email. So it was all coming back to them. Yeah.
Crazy, man. Trace it back to it.
Here, let me use my work email for this. That'll work.
So Josh, that's funny. Let's get out of here because we're actually on time for once. So let's keep it on track.
Let's hurry up. Let's do it.
All right. So Phil, Josh, do your thing.
All right, guys, gals, whoever's still listening, here we are. We're talking about W Energy. W Energy is clean. They've got unique proprietary blends. Not really proprietary. They've got unique blends of flavors. It's extremely flavorful, way better than other powdered energy brands. I'm not even going to mention them in this ad because they don't deserve it like Dubby does. Dubby is an amazing group. It's an amazing company. It's an amazing group of people who came together and decided that energy needed to be better, it needed to be cleaner, and it is evident in their product. Give it a try. Go to w.gg.com. It's not .com. w.gg. Just w.gg. It'll take you to there. You peruse through your products. You don't have to spend $40 or anything like that. Get a sample pack. It's like $15. You get it shipped to your house directly. Just give it a try. Just give it a try. Use code WEEK0 at checkout for 10% off your order at w.gg. w.gg. Clean energy, zero sugar. God, it's wonderful. It's fantastic. I'm not going back to what I used to have. Never. It's Dubby for me.
Okay.
It's an okay.
Oh, I thought Phil was. I thought you were about to say something, Phil. That's why I was waiting.
Oh no, no, I don't say any. I don't have anything to say. I'll be doing a video tomorrow. If you want to check that out, Amaze Madman.
Yeah, you will.
That's it.
Yeah, you will. You're gonna be losing some
Next week, Ryan, you have to come next week because Garrison will be on that week. Oh, that's like the week of the game. Ryan, you're muted, by the way.
We'll have
Garrison will
we'll have
be
Buckeye
on.
Garrison on our show too. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
we got Logan Zaldate, the 2024 Notre Dame commit out of California. He'll be on
Next
as a
week is a
guest picker.
big week for week 0, isn't it?
Yeah.
We got a guest
And
picker
for
who is
Maze.
a Notre Dame recruit, and then we got Buckeye Garrison. So I told Garrison to not be spewing any of that Buckeye garbage on
Is
our
that next
channel,
week?
especially for the
And,
Notre Dame.
dude, there's so much going on for week 0 and for Maze Madman this next week. It's
Okay,
nuts.
do you have like the GoPro ready or something for the camera?
Lucas is bringing the GoPro.
Oh, Lucas is bringing the GoPro for the video.
He better.
He said he's vlogging it, so he better.
Well, I'll be vlogging it because he'll be drunk.
I feel like that's great.
So this has been the Week 0 podcast. We'll be back next Tuesday. We'll be doing our final kind of preview before we'll be doing our recap of week 3, 4,
Yep.
week 3,
Week 3,
and then I'll be flying out on Wednesday. I'll be in a car with Josh for 5 hours until we meet at Ryan's. Then we'll be in the car for another 5 hours as we drive to South Bend because we took the most inefficient way to get
Lucas and Josh. Lucas and Josh will be.
Lucas and Josh. So if we don't murder each other, I'll be amazed.
Wow.
We're gonna red pill Connor. We're gonna get him, boys.
And Jesus Christ.
So for Josh, for Phil, for Ryan, this is for Connor, and this is the Week 0 podcast. We'll be back next Tuesday. We'll actually be back on